All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 5 of Sports with Skiz. Today, we're going to be talking about week 2 college football. We have some good stuff lined up. Knock, do you have anything that you want to say before we kick it off here?
No, I think we looked at the schedule at the end of last week and we're like, these games are kind of lackluster. No, they're not. There are going to be some good games. So we have some good analysis for you this week.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I hope you guys all enjoyed our episode that we dropped yesterday. If you haven't, go check that out, Sports with Skiz on YouTube. And be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Sports with Skiz. We are on every social, posting clips, putting out work for you guys to go take a look at. So, getting started here, let me jump into it. We're going to start off with some small school stuff. I did want to start with some Division III action that we got going on, a couple of ranked matchups, which are cool. Mount Union, number 2 in the nation for Division III, kicking off their season, hosting number 17 Wheaton. And then we also have another ranked matchup, number 10, University of Wisconsin Lacoste. I believe I'm saying that right, kind of like the clothing brand, is traveling on down here to Pittsburgh to take on number 18, Carnegie Mellon. So those should be some two very good games within Division III. I know there's a couple other ones, but ideally wanted to give those two a shout out. Mount Union, for as small as they are. Knock, I know that you're very familiar with Pierre Garcon, being the Colts fan that you are. So produce a lot of NFL talent. Wanted to make sure I gave them a shout out. And then Carnegie Mellon being close to home, the whiz kids of D3, the Ivy League of D3. Wanted to make sure we gave them a shout out. And then Knock, another team that you brought up to me, Roanoke College, playing in their first official football game this weekend, Saturday. I almost said today. It's
Yes,
Saturday, right?
Saturday. Yep.
Yeah,
Since
it's
1942, man.
1942. Yeah, I was reading what they stopped after World War II or during World War II, right? They dismantled it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I saw that they raised 1.3 million to reinstate the football program, and I think last year they played about four games as a club team. But this is their first official season in D3. Funny fact: they're playing against Virginia University of Lynchburg, which actually I was talking to you a little bit before this. They actually got some backlash. In the off season, I was just scrolling on TikTok before we started this, and shout out Jared Martino. If you guys want to see more about this, go search him up. But he basically compared them to Bishop Sycamore. So they play in the NCCA, which is the National Christian College Athletic. And essentially, they, for the majority, only play Division I AA teams, and they don't have any home games. He also compared their coach to the head coach of Bishop Sycamore as well, too. I guess lies on his resume and stuff. So that's all I really wanted to dive into with that. I thought it was crazy. I don't want to take away from Roanoke. Roanoke, we see out there. It's going to be awesome. I know that it's going to be electric, and I saw that they are actually having a maroon out. So that should be pretty cool. Knock, I don't know if you have anything else on that.
Yeah, go Maroons, obviously. And I don't know, the what is it? Virginia University of Lynchburg?
Yeah, Virginia
Yeah.
University of Lynchburg.
No home games. I want to party with those guys. Just always on the road. I don't know. I don't know. Keep it
Yeah,
at that.
it does seem. Yeah, we do your own research and stuff. I kind of just wanted to drop that out there. I thought that was pretty interesting seeing that.
Hey, if you ain't
Um,
lying on the resume, you ain't trying, buddy.
you ain't trying if you ain't lying on the resume. You're damn right on that. Jumping into Division II, we got a couple of two very close universities to us again. We got Asheville. I believe it's Asheville University out of Ohio taking on IUP Indiana University of Pennsylvania, home of Signetti, who is now at Indiana, the former coach there. So shout out to him. IUP has won the last two meetings in consecutive years against them. So it's going to be tough. IUP is a very, very tough team in the PSAC. We know that. Some of our coaches in high school played there. I played in the PSAC. They've always been a very, very tough team. So that game should be interesting. And then number 12, Charleston, is actually traveling to Brownsville, Pennsylvania to take on number 14, Cal U Vulcans. So that should be another good game. Not two ranked matchups, excuse me. Ashland is ranked. IUP is not ranked to start the season. But Cal U and Charleston are both ranked in the top 25 for Division II. So I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of shout out to some smaller schools there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
I went to IUP, so go Crimson Hawks.
very
I'm always
true.
always rooting
Very
for them.
true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Short-time alumnus. Here for
I
one
love it.
semester.
IU Patties, man. If you're listening to this and you're from the Western PA area, IU Patties. Whew, what a time. That took some years off of my life, I believe. But always a good time out there in Indiana, PA. Big CS, excuse me, matchup this weekend as well. We got number 2 South Dakota State on the road playing Montana State, who's ranked number 3 in the nation. So a top 5 matchup. I know Bozeman, Montana is going to be rocking. They love their football up there. It's going to be a hell of a time. I mean, both of these Division 1AA teams have been a powerhouse for the past couple of years. I know South Dakota State won the national championship, I believe, 2 years ago. Montana State, I believe, lost to North Dakota State last year. So you never know. Whoever wins this game might be going, to the national championship at the end. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope I could catch that if it is on national television.
Yeah, fresh off getting destroyed by Oregon, I think Montana State they got a good look at what a really good football team is like. So I don't know. I might be
Yeah.
taking, if I could
Yeah.
bet on
And,
take them this week. I don't know
oh,
for that,
absolutely. Shout out to me for saying to take Montana State plus the points last week. They got absolutely annihilated.
but
But I just kind of went into that blindly. So, all right, all right. I know we got some pretty nice big Division 1 games this week. So, Knock, I don't know if you want to start it off here. We each got 4 games that we kind of want to go over and some quick hits. So, if you want to take it away, you could lead us off here.
yeah, I'm gonna start out with what I think is gonna be a great matchup, but the toughest to bet on. Illinois Duke. All right. Illinois comes into the season with a lot of expectations. They're ranked 11th, if I'm not mistaken. They're minus 3.5 point favorites. Listen, this is a battle of 2 solid collegiate quarterbacks and Luke Altmaier and Darian Mensah. Both of these guys can throw the ball. They can move while they have the ball in their hands. And not just that, their offenses are really, really potent. I mean, Duke ran they had 5 rushers last week, Duke. So they're not afraid to run the ball. And Illinois has Aiden Lafferty, and they also have a running back by the name of, if I'm not mistaken, Caden Fegan. Caden Fegan is 6'3", Mike. All right. This is a big boy. And Lafferty's already hyped up. Man, these guys combined for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. But Duke's running backs combined for over 159 yards total and a couple of scores for themselves, too. Offensively, when it comes down to the trenches, I think I'm going to give Illinois the edge. However, I think Duke has a better receiving core. So this is going to be tight, to be honest with you. It's going to come down to the defenses, and really the linebacking cores for each other it's not really a good matchup. Duke's linebacking core can't really stop the run, while Illinois is really meant to stop the run, and they're going to struggle versus Duke's quarterback. So this is tough. Both teams have some continuity at the offensive line position, but they're also question marks because Illinois retains their line. It's a good line. Duke has a good line, but they built through the transfer portal. And even though it's week 2, neither of these teams played anybody. So they haven't really seen, Duke played Elon, and I think Illinois played Western Illinois. You know what I mean? So that's not even a test. The over-under is 49.5 here. I think that these offenses are going to be moving the ball. The winner, I can't decide, to be honest. I'm going to take the over 49.5.
I like that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It feels like Luke Altmaier's been there for, I mean, since we were in like high school. I guess that's what happens now. Whenever kids don't really stay at the same school for all 3 to 4 years, even 5 years. So it's cool to see. I also like the over on this. It'll be interesting to see if Duke gets off to a slow start, kind of like they did against Elon. Expect this to be a big win from Illinois. I think last week it was tied 10-10 at halftime whenever they played Elon. So they're going to have to do better. I mean, that Messiah is his name, I believe, the quarterback for Duke, the transfer from Tulane. I was a big fan of him last year. He ended up playing really well. I think he had 3 passing touchdowns. So no, that's definitely a game that I want to watch. That's an early noon kickoff as well too. So that'll be a good way to to start it off. So I'm definitely excited for that. Um, Jumping into my game here, the first one, I probably should have let it off just because they do play Friday, but I'm loving this Louisville and JMU game. Right now, it's Louisville minus 13.5. The over under is 57.5. The biggest thing for Louisville is, like I said about Duke, they cannot get off to a slow start whatsoever. They ended up winning big last week against Eastern Kentucky, but I believe they had 12 penalties for 106 yards. And they also had 3 turnovers, 2 of which came from the interceptions from Miller Moss. So he's going to have to play a lot better. He ended up, honing it in. They ended up putting up, I think, 542 yards of offense, but their backups were in there as well, too. So Isaac Brown, who was last year's ACC Freshman of the Year, had 126 yards and also added a punt return touchdown. So he's picking up right where he left off. But I will say JMU is a very, very tough team. They're coached by Bob Chesney. He was at Assumption and then Holy Cross, and now he's at JMU. So he's taken both of those programs to playoffs. Obviously, JMU has a pretty decent history with being relatively new to the FBS level, but they beat the hell out of Weber State last week, 45-10. George Pettaway and Wayne Knight, kind of their 1-2 punch at running back. That's going to be nice to see. And I'm a big fan of Alfonso Barnett. He's kind of a dual threat quarterback, can run, can pass. So I like what he has to offer. And the defense, speaking to Louisville, turning the ball over, had 3 takeaways. So with that being said, I am going to take JMU plus the points. I like them 13.5. If you could get it at 14.5, hammer it. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I would even like to say that over 57.5 is looking pretty juicy as well, too. But we'll have to see how Louisville comes out. Jeff Brom highlighted the importance of the discipline and minimizing his mistakes. So I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville, their defense is just a lot of question marks. Barnett has proven that he can move the ball. I mean, JMU over the last couple of years, when they first came out, it was a shock, and now it's kind of a regular thing for them to be competitive. So yeah, it'll be a good matchup, and I think I'm going to take that. I might give them 14, and if I'm feeling like I want to be really safe, I'll give them 17.5.
Yeah, I like it. It'll be they're wearing some clean, icy white uniforms too. I saw, shout out Uniswag. Like I said before, go give them a follow if you do like seeing uniforms and stuff like that come out. They're tweeting anywhere from high school up to college. And also shout out our bay, excuse me. Pause. Shout out our boy Daquan Minter. He played at St. Francis University, had 2 picks at JMU whenever he was there. I think his sophomore, junior year. So kind of his coming out party. So shout out to you, Day.
Yes, sir. Our guy.
Yes, sir. All right, Knock, go ahead. Take it away with your second game.
Yeah. I'm going to double down here this week, Mike. We're going Baylor again.
Right. Run it back.
Texas, SMU, Baylor. SMU is home. Look, bro, it's just hard for me not to see Baylor coming out on top. I mean, they played a very good Auburn team. Granted, some question marks for Auburn coming into the season, but they have a lot of talent and a lot of weapons, and Baylor just played a very good football team. Granted, could they get a stop? Absolutely not. Was their biggest problem Jackson Arnold running the football? Yes, it was.
Yes.
Does SMU have Kevin Jennings at quarterback? Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
Did he throw for 3,000 yards passing last year? He absolutely did. Can he run the ball? You're damn right. You're damn right he can run the ball. But, Mike, I don't think that SMU has the talent offensively right now. And after what Baylor or on offense or defense, you know what I mean? And what Baylor just went through, I expect them to be upset, mad. Sawyer Robertson, he looked good last week. Again, it's just they couldn't get a stop. I think they gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown as well, man. So they were down, started off a little slow. They might have scored first, but it was slow in the first half for them, and they couldn't catch up at some point. And I think Baylor's just going to steamroll these guys.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this game too. Romello Brinson, he is a guy that I like on the outside for SMU. He was their leading receiver last week. He looked really good in film, but I don't know what I would take in this game. I think it's going to be a game time decision for me. It is kind of the battle of Texas. SMU, I know, would like to get this win because then in 2 weeks they have another battle of Texas against TCU. I know that's a little bit more of a rivalry for them, being with Fort Worth and Dallas being right there. But I I don't know. Part of me wants to lean on SMU. I think it's like another prove it year for them with getting to the playoffs. I know a lot of people last year were basically saying it was a sympathy vote and that they shouldn't have been in. They got blown out by Penn State. At the end of the day, they got there. They were supposed to be there. I know it wasn't pretty, but I think I'm going to side with SMU. But there is a chance that could switch.
Right, yeah. And I said Baylor to cover. I mean, yeah, cover, but they're the underdog. I'm taking them money line all day.
I got you. I got you. No, I like that. Another good game. So following up on that, another in-state rivalry. I'll go ahead right here. The Cyhawk Clash, Iowa and Iowa
Ooh,
State. Right now it's Iowa State -3.5 and the over-under 41.5. Before I jump into this is one of
low.
those games where the spread is so low, but yet it still feels like it could be so insurmountable for Iowa State to cover it just because of how close these games are. I mean, it could be a 3-score game, a 2-score game, even a 1-score game. And you never know how it's going to be. The predictability of these games, especially in state rivalries, it's never easy to pick. Iowa, man, they're still looking for that passing game. I mean, Mark Gronowski was a beast at South Dakota State. Shout out to them again. They're getting a lot of mention this episode, but I mean, he has over 10,000 yards passing, 90 touchdowns in his career there. And in
Wow.
2023, he was the leader in passing efficiency for the FCS. So he could get it done. I know he's been battling injuries since the offseason, so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of open up the playbook for him. Their rushing attack still continues to be, their strong suit of their team. Like in years past, they want to ground and pound you. Pause. The rushing attack is led by Xavier Williams. He had 122 yards early or last year. So we'll see. I mean, their defense is also tough, but I mean, when you're going up against a guy like Rocco Beck, you got to be on your P's and Q's. He's had some pretty strong play. Does not have any interceptions just yet. 5 passing touchdowns. And in last year's matchup, he threw for 272 and 2 touchdowns. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. Iowa State also has a great rushing attack right now. They really don't know. I feel like they don't know who their number one is. They spread the wealth so much. There's 4 players on their team who have 13 or more carries on the season through 2 games already. So 4 players with 13 or more, which is kind of crazy to me to think about. Again, both have strong defenses. It's usually a tight game, like we said. 41.5 is so ugly and so low. I might just have to take the under. I think I'm going to have to. I hate betting unders, but these two teams, I mean, it might be a rock fight. I could see this being a 13-10 game, a 10-7 game, something like that. So with that being said, I think I'm going to take the under, but I
Okay.
think I'm also going to take Iowa +3.5. I bet against
Ooh.
Iowa State once already. They made me eat my words. I'm going to do it again until I get it right. But I will say,
Okay.
Cyclone Nation, don't get on me. I still have love for you guys. It's no hate there. I
Great
just want to see
fandom.
Mark Gronowski, pick it up and see what we could do. So that's what I'm going to go with this week.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It to me, it's ballsy, and I mean, just my philosophy is always going to kind of stay the same throughout this journey of ours, and it's like Iowa has no continuity. By the way, there's not too many synonyms for continuity, so I'm going to be saying that word a lot. All right, but no,
Read
I
a
mean
dictionary,
at the
Bob.
quarterback at the quarterback at the quarterback position, I didn't know Gronowski had numbers like that. He's also moving into the Big Ten. This is big boy football, and even though Iowa State isn't in the Big Ten, this is a different kind of matchup. Losing Caleb Johnson last year, I haven't done too much research into Iowa and what their running back room looks like, but that's 65 to 75% of what they want to do is run the football, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they have a quarterback who can throw the ball around the field, that's a plus. Their defense always comes prepared. But I just have to side with Iowa State and Rocco Becht here. I mean, they just play tougher competition, obviously, with them playing Kansas State and them having to go and endure that in Ireland. And that's just a little small test that I like to see young athletes and teams endure. So I'm going to rock out with Iowa State here. I think the under is okay. And I think the under is going to hit because I think Iowa State beats them like 27-3.
Oh, you think it's in the terms of this rivalry a blowout?
I know it's always a tight ball game, but I mean, I have to give it to the quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. I think also the game being at Iowa State is going to cause a little bit, but again, I'm taking Iowa to shock the state and upset. I guess the little brother, I guess if you want to call him, even though they beat him last year. I mean, Iowa dominates the series, so
Who's little
yeah,
brother in that series? Iowa State. I think
I think it
Iowa.
would be Iowa State. I'm pretty sure Iowa dominates the like overall.
Okay.
But for the last year, though, Iowa State could look at Iowa as the little brother. They were patting him on the head. They upset him. I don't know if it was an upset exactly, but they beat him last year. I think in another tight game.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's gonna be a good one. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that as well, too.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll hop right in if that's cool with you with my
Yeah,
next one.
absolutely.
Again,
A
just
little
another
tennis here, back and forth.
so many tight ball games, and I love it. I love it. I love it. NC State, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
This is a battle, and this is another thing. I love three things: tight ball games, QBs, offensive lines. All right.
Uh-huh.
And
Shout out the big boys, baby.
and this will do it. A battle of two quarterbacks who are kind of the same, but kind of the opposite. CJ Bailey is a sophomore. His athletic prowess is unbelievable. He's 6'6". The guy balled last week in his first game. But they struggled against ECU a little bit. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
it's the opener. It's the opener. On the opposite end for Virginia, who dominated Coastal Carolina, Chandler Morris. He's a sixth-year senior.
Yeah, he's made stops everywhere.
Yeah, right. Oklahoma, TCU, and then last year he was with
North
North
Texas. Yep.
3,700 yards, 30 touchdowns, and like, I don't know, 10, 12 picks, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he can run the ball a little bit. So this is going to be a good matchup. Virginia wasn't tested by Coastal Carolina. That was they got off to a great start. You don't usually see Virginia do that well offensively,
Mm-mm.
even versus like smaller schools. So I think they've got maybe something going on. They had a receiver last week who went for over 100 yards and had a kickoff return for a touchdown as well. So they've got some talent over there. They are the home team. CJ Bailey, again, like I said, stud. Still, just NC State, their defense gave up 10 plays of over 10 yards last week to East Carolina, excuse me. So I don't know. There's just so many questions. Chandler Morris can definitely move the ball. Both of these teams, I believe, had some running backs carry the football as well. So Virginia is going to be balanced. I'm still going to take NC State money line here. I think they might have a better offensive line.
Okay. I like it. I like it. I mean, similar to like what you said, it is kind of it's un-Virginia like over recent years to get off to such a strong start. So Cam Ross, as you mentioned, with running the kickback, he's a speedster for the Cavaliers there. I do love the quarterback play that they have. I do love NC State's team as well. Again, I'm a sicko for uniforms. I'm going to stress that enough. Their uniforms last week were sick. The all red bloodouts, as I call them. But I'm going to rock with Virginia. Shout out Chris Long and the boys down at the Green Light podcast down there. I'm rocking out with the Cavaliers. I think it's just been so long, and they're dying for a team to kind of make some buzz and make some noise around the area. So I'm going to ride out with them just on pure faith and hopefulness. But I could obviously see that plane come crashing down as well too, and blowing up right in my face. But I am going to go ahead with that.
Home team, I can't blame you at all, honestly. It is a toss-up ball game, so I'm kind of riding the faith of CJ Bailey.
It's actually at North Carolina State.
Fuck off, dude. All right. Sweet. I can get that.
No, I had to throw that in there, man. But no, that's another good one. I like it. An ACC matchup this early as well, too. That's always cool to see.
Right.
Leaving week 2 1-0. If you're leaving 0-1, oh well, you got a long season to turn that around.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping into another game that I really like. I'm talking about them again. I'll probably talk about them some more. You'll get tired of them. But we're going to go Ohio hosting West Virginia and Rich Rod. So right now we got West Virginia -3.5, the over under 61.5. Knock, do not take anything that I say to heart. I know that you're a Mountaineer, unfortunately. But boy, oh boy, if they get off to a slow start like they did against Robert Morris and Bobby Moe, it might be curtains for them. I think they're going to lose to Ohio. They were only up 10-3 at halftime. I think they had 5 total fumbles with 4 lost, and 3 came in just 4 offensive plays in the first half. So Rich Rod, I know, was talking about getting a little bit tougher with that. I know all offseason he was talking about their toughness and they're a weak team, but it might wake up the boys. It might continue to hurt them. We don't know. They ended up coming out and beating the hell out of Robert Morris 45-3. The second half looked a whole lot better. They did have some effective running, from Nico Marshall. I'm definitely butchering that last name. Sorry, Nico. And Jaheim White. They were a nice little 1-2 punch there. They got to have a strong defensive plan for our boy Parker Navarro. I know we did that edit for him and everything. He is a dog. Accounted for 333 yards of offense last week with 4 touchdowns, 239 through the air and 97 rushing. He was averaging 10 yards per carry against Rutgers. So they have been battle tested last week. I know that they lost, unfortunately. Their defense held Rutgers to 3 points in that second half. Wow. Just 3 points. So they're going to look to capitalize off a strong second half. Fun fact, Ohio did beat Jacksonville State in the Cure Bowl last year, where Rich Rod came from. He wasn't coaching in there, but I'm sure they would love to beat a Rich Rod coached team right now. So I'm looking forward to that. Chase Hendricks for Ohio continues to lead with his great play. He had 115 yards receiving last week. So I really, really like this game. I think I'm going to lean towards Ohio plus the points, and I'm going to go with the over 61.5. I really like that. A couple of fun facts from this game as well, too. This is West Virginia's smallest true road venue since 2010. I want to say Ohio Stadium fits about 24,000, give or take, with some standing room only, stuff like that. And then the last time a Power 5 or Power 5 or 4 school, played Ohio. Knock, do you remember who it was?
No, I don't.
Syracuse, 2021. Do you remember what the score was?
I don't.
Ohio, 29-9. So they have had some big wins in their history there. I remember dating back to, I want to say, the early 2010s, maybe late 2000s. They did end up beating Pitt at their home field as well, too. So why not take out the whole rivalry and beat both teams in the backyard brawl? I do think that Ohio has a chance to win outright in this game. It's going to be tricky for West Virginia. Again, they got to get off to a faster start.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know what? I'll be honest. You're not really wrong. West Virginia, defenses are Big 12 defenses are always a question to me. And I don't know. Parker Navarro is really, really good. Jaheim White he's pretty good at running back. I don't know. This is a toss up. And as much as I want to just be like, oh yeah, West Virginia, I can't actually. I might be rocking out with you on the upset here. And no bias. I root for them. I'll go to their games, but they're going to go into a really weird environment, even though it's only 24,000 people. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to be like they're the only ones in there from West Virginia. So,
yeah, it's a real. Oh, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off there, brother.
No, by all means.
The venue is just like, it's not like your traditional stadium. It's very open. You know how some of those smaller Division I schools are. They got the big grandstands on the side, but then it's pretty much an open venue. I'm pretty sure Ohio is like that too. There probably will be a little bit of some West Virginia fans, but I think I saw tickets for that game were already up over like $130 if you could still get them, just because of the hype. I mean, when's the next time Ohio is going to have a big time school come in that plays in one of these power conferences? So it's definitely going to be interesting to see there. So I'm really looking forward to this. Really looking forward to this. Shout out to some Marshall fans. They got a nice little in-state rivalry with I can't pronounce it. Rivalry with West Virginia. I saw a page on Twitter. was asking West Virginia fans what the score was going to be, and the majority of Marshall fans were replying back 13-9, good guys. So if anybody knows 13-9, like I know 13-9, it always brings a smile to your face.
13-9, unforgettable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
Knock,
you
you
know
want to
what?
jump into your
Speaking
last
of
game? Oh.
13-9, I want to go to an old Big East matchup.
Mm,
Syracuse, UConn. Okay.
mm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
this is short. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I'm so confident this week, guys. Um, it's simple. Syracuse covers. They got smacked on by Tennessee at home last week, and UConn is very capable. They have a good quarterback, Joey Fagnano. They lost to Syracuse last year, 24-17. It was a tight knit ball game. And Syracuse does lose, they do lose guys like Kyle McCord, Trevor Pena. We discussed that last week. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. I still think Syracuse offensively started to figure it out there after a while versus the Vols.
I thought they
And
were going to cover.
yeah, same here. Same at the beginning of the game, I definitely thought, okay, they're only down a couple points. It was like 21-7. Thought they had that fumble. That's what really
Mm-hmm.
did them in, was that fumble early. But no, Syracuse has a rushing attack to beat these guys. And UConn just played Central Connecticut State or something like that. So,
My wife's alma mater. Watch how you talk about them.
oh, love. But yeah, no, look, short, sweet, Syracuse -6.5. I like
I
that.
like it.
I like it
I
a lot.
like it. Yeah, I like that too. They're battle tested. I mean, they played a powerhouse of the careful. I guess I should choose my words in case we have any SEC fans listening, but a very big school in Tennessee, an SEC tested team. So I do think that that's going to help them out. Boy, do I miss the Big East. Holy shit.
Mm.
You
Oh,
bringing that back brings back so many good memories,
so
man.
good, man. So good. Football
It
and
hurts.
basketball, just great.
Oh,
Just great. That was good college.
that was the mecca of college sports. You remember what was it, the 2007 college football year where every team that was basically ranked like number 2 lost for what was it, like 13 consecutive weeks or something
Right.
like that? Oh, that was the best. I just always remember going to Pitt games as a kid and seeing USF come in and Rutgers and UConn and I miss it, man, and I miss the atmosphere of the basketball games as well too. But we're here to talk football. We won't jump into that. Don't worry,
No,
we
not
got
yet.
this.
Not yet.
Not yet, not yet. Little teaser, little teaser. All right, jumping into my last game here. An old Big East team, just one of them, just one. We got Virginia Tech and Vandy. Vandy traveling to
Mm.
Blacksburg, Virginia. Enter Sandman. That's going to be electric. Right now, we got Virginia Tech -1.5, over under 47.5. So last week, Virginia Tech didn't look too bad, at least defensively, against South Carolina. The offense was moving the ball. However, they were turning it over as well too. They just gotta limit those turnovers. Kyron Drones, I think, was trying to force a couple of things. I think if he limits that, has a clean game, I think they have a really good chance. Aiden Green had another big game at wide receiver. It felt like all the targets were going to him. I know he didn't lead the way, but he led the way in receptions. I really like his game. Even whenever they were down, multiple scores, he's still talking his shit, which I love. You can't always talk shit whenever you're up. You got to be able to do it when you're down. So shout out to you, Aiden Green. I really love your mentality there. Just a dog. Vandy is a lot better than than they have been in recent years. So they have a real high octane offense. They love to get on the ball, run it, run some RPOs, throw it. Diego Piava,
Obvious. Yeah.
Pavia, Jesus. I can't, don't make fun of me, guys. I am bad with my with my pronunciations. Actually, you can make fun of me. I don't give a damn. I'll lean into it. But he accounted for last year whenever they played Virginia Tech. They kind of stunned them in that opening week, 34-27. That's what kind of led them to have their breakout season last year. He accounted for 3 touchdowns and 294 total yards. He's back again, and he's looking the same as he did last year. Cedric Alexander, is a playmaking sophomore that they got at running back. And I think he received some all freshman hype as well too last year. I think he might have even made SEC all freshman. But two other guys that I really like for them in the pass game: Eli Stowers, tight end, and Trey Richardson, the wide receiver, as well too. So a lot of people are thinking that they're going to keep the momentum. However, Blacksburg is a very, very tough place to play. I am going to rock out with Virginia Tech, either -1.5. Usually when it's this low, I just go money line because there's no sense in even just doing that. It's going to be probably, I don't know, +125 on the money line compared to -110. You might as well just do the money line. And I'm also going to do the over 47.5. I think Virginia Tech is going to be able to score more, obviously, than 11 points last week. So I really like that. I do think it's going to be another close game, but I think Virginia Tech gets back at Vandy for last year's little collapse.
Yeah, Diego Pavia is I respect this man. I like him a lot. He wanted to stay, be at Vanderbilt, build a program, maybe
He
do something.
sued the NCAA to be able to stay. Did you
No
know that?
shot. I did
Yeah,
not know.
he's the reason why now I think junior college kids get an extra year of eligibility, like an extra year of eligibility.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
shout out Diego, bro. Making waves, changing the game. That's legend. That's legendary stuff right there. However, Virginia Tech's defense, boy, I mean, had a couple of tough breaks there against South Carolina, man, but they were good. And I tell you what, I hope Vanderbilt has cornerbacks that are ready
Mm-hmm.
to play because those Virginia Tech receivers are nice. Okay. They were making some ridiculous contested catches last week. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really surprised at Virginia Tech and the fact that they didn't put up more points. It was really just about finishing drives. Again, it's going to come down to Vanderbilt's defense. Are they just as good as South Carolina? Are they one of those SEC defenses? If they play well, Vanderbilt, but I think I'm going to rock out with you, and I'm going to take the home team.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. They definitely should have scored more. I think Drones threw an interception in the red zone on one of their early drives in the first half. So, again, if he limits that, I think he still played good. His completion percentage wasn't all that, but South Carolina has a very strong defense. I mean, they have Dylan Stewart on the end, who's a scary edge rusher that was almost getting home, and then he finally did too. And then they have a great secondary as well. So speed also kills. Virginia Tech does not have to worry about going up against Nick Harper, who burned them on that long touchdown, the track star, and they don't have to play Lenora Sellers. Thank God for them.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Harbor 6'4", 4.3 speed, runs what the 100 meter. Like, nah, dude's
like 10, he runs it in a 10-10, and then I think he runs the 200 in a 20-20 or something like that. So he stays consistent. I think he set records at South Carolina last year running track, but it is cool. He, not to, shy away from Virginia Tech, shout out South Carolina. They play South Carolina State this weekend. We might as well just say that. I'm pretty sure he's focusing solely on football now. He's not running track or anything like that. He's turned it around. What a freak.
Yeah,
What a freak. I mean, he's
that boy's
basically,
a unit.
what is he, 6'5", you said?
6'4", 6'5". Yeah,
He's
dude. He's
about either my height, an inch taller, and weighs damn near the same, and is just a
listen.
jack specimen.
If you're listening out there, okay, I play NCAA. We're not going to steer too far off. This man, I've been screaming at my TV for the last 2.5 months. He better be this good. He better be this good. He better be this good. It's not a lie. He is that good as
Mm-hmm.
advertised on the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He definitely is. Yeah, that was it for my like main games. Do you have any other
Okay.
main games or like a
I
quick
do. I
hitter?
do. I have two, and I'll keep them brief, guys. Kansas versus Missouri. I love an upset here. I can just smell it. While Missouri looked great versus Central Arkansas, Pribula, if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm
Pavia,
sorry
or
about
no,
that.
no, no, Pavia. Jesus,
Former
I'm thinking
Nittany
of.
Lion, bro. You balled out, 4 total touchdowns, 280 yards. They did receive, Missouri went through the transfer portal. They have a stud running back in Ahmad Hardy, 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns last year. He had 10 carries, 100 yards, and a score. That's 10 yards a carry.
Mm,
That's pretty insane. But with that being said, I know Kansas didn't really play anybody great either. They played Wagner College last week. Good for Wagner for going up against those guys. And they played Fresno State, who they just, you know, dog walked. So neither of these teams really played the competition. However, I'm going to base my logic on one thing. Kansas can run the football, and they have a Heisman talent at quarterback. I'm not saying this guy is a candidate this year, but he was a candidate 2 years ago, and he's back. He's fully healthy, and they run the football too. So Kansas, if I'm not mistaken, is on the road. I'm still going to take Kansas. I like them plus 6.5 here. I think this is definitely going to be an over 50.5. I think that's too low for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little trappy, definitely trappy. I think both of these offenses have the capabilities to move the ball downfield. And I like the plus 6.5, the over, and I like Kansas on the money line.
I like it. I like it. I'm with you. I think one thing I really wanted to say, Missouri's offensive line, you got to protect your quarterback better. They almost had him killed. I don't know if you watched any of that game and seen some of the shots that he was taking, but my Lord, I mean, that's precious cargo right there. You went out, you got him in the transfer portal. He left Penn State during the playoff to come there. So you want to make sure you're protecting your quarterback. He took some big, big shots last week. So I think Kansas is going to try to get after him early and often. And I think they can too. And as long as Jalen Daniels stays healthy, then should be good to go. I mean, he's had the injury bug bit him the past 2 years. So you're right. I think if he does stay healthy and he shows up to play, he can be that Heisman, hopeful that Kansas has been dying for.
Right. Well,
So I like that one.
and not to mention Missouri's quarterback, he just doesn't really have the experience for me. I think this will be his toughest test as a starter. So,
Mm-hmm.
good for him. I do like Missouri. I've always kind of liked Missouri at a distance, but I'm taking Kansas. Upset.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I got a quick one here as well too. A game that I'm really liking is a rematch from last year, but Arizona State travels down to Starksville, Mississippi, to take on the Bulldogs of Mississippi
That'll
State.
be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be a very good one. I'm not expecting anything too crazy. I don't know what the line is at. Do you have that by chance? I want to
Uh,
say was it Arizona State minus like 7.5?
it's actually
Let me
pretty.
see. I could pull that up real quick. I apologize for that. I should have had it. Whatever it is, I am going to be taking Arizona State. I love Sam Levitt. He's a beast. He looked good last week. He had 73 yards to add to his passing totals. It looks like Arizona State minus 6.5. Yeah, so I like Arizona State in this game. They were busting out the cowbells in practice. And some people were saying that that's not going to help. A lot of Mississippi State fans were talking, a lot of shit, but I really do like Arizona State. I think they're gonna be the real deal right now. They're the team to beat, obviously, in the Big 12 with winning that last year. But shout out to Blake Sharpen. He was at Baylor before Mississippi State. He's the starting quarterback there now. He looked pretty good last week as well too. He got to limit those turnovers. I think he had just one interception, but whenever you're not playing a big school and you do that, you gotta watch what you're doing there. So I do like Arizona State in Starksville. So I will be riding out with them. So forks up. Shout out Brady Mortar.
Forks up. Shout out Brady Mortar.
Forks up, baby.
Unfortunately,
Forks up.
you know what? I don't I'm not gonna take that. I'm gonna bet against you on this one. I'm gonna
Mm,
take the home team here. You know, Mississippi State's really not like that great, and they're bottom tier of the SEC. They're still the SEC, and there's something about the Big 12 that I've always said throughout the duration of my lifetime. They don't play defense. Like a majority of Big 12 teams are not known for defense. So it's going to be a good matchup because Mississippi State's going to want to come out with some pride. They're the home team. They've got Sam Levitt on the other side. Let's not forget about, oh my goodness, I can't think of their receiver,
Tyson.
Jaden Tyson.
Yeah, he's a
Jalen
beast. He had a
Jordan
yeah,
Tyson.
he had another
Jordan
he had
Tyson.
another he had a 147, I believe, last week. I
Kid's
forgot
insane. Kid's insane.
to
So
mention him. He could be a Heisman potential as well. Sorry,
yeah.
you were lagging there a little bit. I didn't mean to talk over you, brother.
No, all good, boss. All good. Yeah, no. So I'm what's the spread on that one? Six and a half.
6.5, Arizona State. Yeah.
What's the over under?
The I just got out of it. Let me pull that up real quick. Bear with us here. Bear with us. 59 and a half.
That's high. I don't know. I
That
don't
is
know if
high.
I'm because I don't know if
You betting
Mississippi.
against Kenny Dillingham? You're telling me you're betting against Kenny Dillingham?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
I
guy I
think I'll
can't root
take.
against.
I would take the +6.5 for the for Mississippi State in the under.
All right.
We'll
All right.
see. Yeah. Well, hey,
Bulletin
we'll
board
come back
material,
to it.
Arizona State. You hear
That's-
it.
and
uh,
I'll jump into my last game, bro. And here's why I picked this game. Everybody is hyping up Arch Manning and the generational talent that he may or may not be. And I hope that he is a generational talent. But Bryce Underwood is looking like a generational talent. I know he only
mhm.
played one game. He can read a defense. He's got a laser of an arm. The guy can run. I know Michigan didn't really play anybody last week. Too crazy
New
with it.
Mexico.
New Mexico, you
Yeah.
know.
Shout out
Um,
to New Mexico with that crazy trick play for a touchdown.
mm,
Did you see that? Lined up in a tush push. He snapped it to the running back through the quarterback's legs, and they did a pass. If you didn't see that, make sure you go check that out. It's sick. We'll even if
for
we
sure.
clip this on TikTok, we'll make sure to tag that play in it.
Yeah, guys, if there's a lot of me like, no, I didn't see this. No, I didn't see this. Very eventful Labor Day weekend. Um, so yes, don't worry. I will tap in for sure. More in depth like my partner over here. So yeah, no, this game is just two completely explosive quarterbacks. I watched a lot of John Mateer last year at Washington State. The guy is awesome, dude. He is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I'm a big fan. Um, again, love running with Oklahoma in the game. Uh, both of these teams weren't that strong last season. The
Mm-mm.
defenses are revamped. I think the under at 45.5 is too low. And I think that there's a potential shot that Michigan can go in there and upset Oklahoma. Um, Mateer, I don't know. He's got the offensive talent. So I'm going to take the over here. I wanted to keep that brief. I didn't have too many notes jotted down on
Yeah.
that. Justice Haynes for Michigan, though, just be careful. There's a dual threat in the backfield with
Yeah, he's a beast.
so
Yeah, he's a beast. I'm interested to see how Michigan goes down to Norman and faces them. That's a tough crowd down there. It's going to be very, very rowdy. I do like that over two. And if I had to lean one way, I think I'm liking Michigan +5.5. It's just so tough. I don't know if I'm going to bet that. So proceed with caution, everybody. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Um, but no, very interested in that game. Last one. I'm not even going to jump into this too long. It's just kind of looking a little juicy to me right now, but I think UCLA, they go into UNLV. I think UCLA is a very bad football team. We talked on it a little bit, I think this week or last, but Nico didn't look good. UCLA stunk last year. They didn't really bring anybody in to help him out this year. I think there's a good chance they go to Las Vegas and take an L outright to UNLV. The spread right now is only UCLA -2.5.
yeah,
We
it's
know
awesome.
UNLV can score. They have a great offense, and UCLA's defense is so. I think I'm liking the Rebels this week to pull off the upset there.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000,000%. I don't like Nico. I'm just gonna be very blunt here. I don't like him. I don't like his dad. Um,
I
sorry,
like it.
I know that sounds harsh, but the nerve and the nerve you to do all that, and then I watched you go out and just again, just no shot, just zero opportunity to win last week. I mean, they didn't look bad, Mike. They looked worse than a peewee football team. It was awful, dude. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like for a second I could call up UCLA. I still have some credits left. There might be to walk onto that team. They're bad. Like they're so bad, dude. And you know what? At this point, I'm rooting for them to lose every game. I'm not
Yeah.
joking. I'm really severely not joking about that. I'm riding UNLV money line.
No, I'm with you on that. I kind of had a little sour taste. I'm all for, players getting paid and stuff like that, but whenever you're already making a crazy amount and you're pushing for more, and I mean realistically, Nico played good at Tennessee, he didn't play great as what everybody's hype was for him. And we saw that with Joey Aguilar going out there and having a great game. So I know that that Tennessee offense could basically put anybody back there, and they look pretty well. So yeah, that was my last game. I'm looking at the board here. I don't really have much else. South Florida travels to Florida. That should be a decent game. I know Florida's minus 17.5 right now, but just had to kind of give a South Florida plug with how well they played last week. So, Knock, any final thoughts, anything like that at all right now?
Yeah, I've got three final thoughts. Pappy came on to our show last week. He balled out, absolutely inspired me. Guys, this isn't gambling advice. I'm by nowhere near a professional. I'm probably batting about 45% on, so don't take my picks. But I'm super confident in these three teams. Kansas State 17.5. If you're
You
smart,
read my mind. You read
I'll
my
take
mind.
down
I
to
just saw
16.5 just to be safer because that point sucks.
Army sucks. We
Yeah,
support the
dude,
troops. We
Army
support the
ball. They're
troops,
all
but they suck.
Kansas State needs a game where they just beat the brakes off of them. You know what? I'm alt it up. Give them 23.5. UNC versus Charlotte. What they showed me on Monday was just bad. But you know what? I'm excited for Max Johnson, which we did speak about the other day. They're playing Charlotte. UNC minus 13.5. They cover. Okay. And my last but not least, Michigan State. I don't even know who they play. Cover. I forget who they play, and I did not write it down. Minus cover.
I like that. I like that, brother. Last game that I wanted to talk to you about that I forgot. What do you feel about Ole Miss and Kentucky? Right now it's Ole Miss minus 8.5. They're traveling to Lexington to play over under 50.5.
But Kentucky was not good last week versus Toledo, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, Toledo covered. Thank God. They didn't
Okay.
look like they were going to. Oh,
I don't
had me
think
sweating.
yeah, I don't think Kentucky really has a lot going on for them. 8.5. It's at 8.5, and it looks a little bit weird, but I think it's at
Mm-hmm.
8.5 because Ole Miss slaughters them. Again, I'm completely unhinged today. If you haven't noticed, everybody's getting slaughtered. So, so yeah, Ole Miss to cover.
Yeah, I also like Ole Miss. I also like Oregon. I think the line just moved down minus 27.5 against Oklahoma State. They
Yeah, real
lost their
quick.
quarterback. They were up only 23-7, I think, against UT Martin going into the fourth quarter last week. So, um,
Can you tell
yeah,
me
I
the
think
beef
Dan.
between Dan Lanning and Coach Gundy over there in OK State? Can you talk about that a
Yeah,
little?
so I guess Gundy made comments about just Oregon having so much money to put into their program and how Oklahoma State spreads the wealth and something along those lines there. And then Dan Lanning was like, well, I'm blessed to coach at a place that wants to win and, gives me that opportunity and gives me every obligation to go out there and use the money that I need to. And he was like, you're saying that about us, but UT Martin just came and played you guys. They weren't showing any fuss about it. So, which is true. I mean, UT Martin is I think a small Division 1 AA team. Like they might not be paying their players what Oklahoma State is. So there's always, the grass isn't always greener. There's always bigger fish to fry. I think you could come back in that. I think Gundy, maybe with his old age, is getting a little bit, bitter as well too. So that might be a thing. He's not 40 anymore.
I'm
He's an
so
older man.
it's Mike Gundy, right?
Yeah.
I'm so Mike Gundy, dude. And like that just really embodies like me, guys. You know what I mean? And like to a certain extent, I understand. Like I get it. Like you guys have to pay the best players in the country. We can't develop guys anymore. You know what I mean? And then because Dan Lanning, he said something along the lines of you know, we pay to win. You don't pay, so you have an excuse. Which like is kind of fair. It's kind of true. There's
Mm-hmm.
some truth behind that statement, but like Dan Lanning, I mean, go win a national championship then. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I don't care if you're paying what do they pay like $40 million in NIL or something
I'm not
absolutely
sure. Something
some
crazy probably. I never listen. I know On3 does their like projections. I never really pay that too much mind because at the end of the day, I feel like we really don't know how much they're making. It's all kind of like he said, she said shit. So yeah. But
yeah.
no, I'm
So
with you. I mean, it does suck that like, the more you pay, the better you play. But That's the
Well,
landscape of
that's how
college
it
football
should
right
be.
now,
That's
unfortunately.
how it should be. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I think Oregon stomps these guys, but
Yeah, I'm taking Oregon.
I'm really, really praying I see some glimpse of like Oklahoma State back when we were younger.
Hmm.
Oklahoma State used to be good football, man.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
just
down in
want them for
Stillwater.
once in the last 5 years to give me some good football. Show me something, some heart. Please cover the 27 and a half.
I I know this is one of those games that makes me wish that the game was down in Stillwater. It feels like when they have a night game down there, it's just the sky is so black. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what it is, and it just gives
No
off.
clouds.
Yeah, it just gives off such a great look, and their beautiful orange colors
Mm-hmm.
with the black and the white just shine so nice. And then going against Oregon's beautiful colors.
It's
But
so
you're
sweet.
right; it's not just about uniforms anymore. Oregon, you got to win a natty. You got to win a natty. You've been good for too long. You've been there. You've been close, but
And
you got to get it done.
you know what? Oregon's uniforms now compared to like 10 years ago, dude. I'm sorry.
You don't like them?
No. I mean, they're
I
always going
kind
to
of
be
like.
great. They're always going to be
Yeah,
great and the best, but
I like their like. The one thing I like is the like old school look to some of them that they have now. I will say that like more of a I don't even know what it would be, like a dehydrated piss yellow, I guess it would be the color with the green. I think it looks so smooth. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you got NCAA. Go look at their like standard home and aways now. Those are
dude, they're
just so
so
beautiful.
weak.
So beautiful.
I think they're so weak.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I see where the aesthetic is coming from. Like I get it because they are bringing back like that 70s, 80s, early 90s tradition. Um, But man, remember the Oregon uniforms where they were like green, but they just had like these gray spots or these diamonds on their shoulder pad
Mm-hmm.
and they were covered and
Their
then
eggshell
dude,
whites.
their eggshells and then they got into like the 2010s where they started putting the wings on their helmet, dude,
Yeah, the wings are tough. The wings are tough.
like the Marcus Mariota generation and
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
I used to be big on Oregon, LaMichael James, Darren Thomas,
Dennis
Kenny
Dixon.
Barner, Jeremiah Masoli. Like I love those Oregon teams growing up as a kid. So
Yeah.
um
They
yeah.
just always found a way to shoot themselves in the foot. That was
Always
always a thing with
dude, there
them.
was always something they lacked or they did. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember Nick Foles. I think this is. I'm saying it's Dayton, but it wasn't really. I don't think it was that long ago. It was maybe 2011. They marched into Arizona and he upset them to like keep them out of the Natty, I believe. Don't quote me on the year. You could just search Nick Foles beats Oregon, and that'll pop up, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But one last thing to leave you with: did you see the Grambling State head coach press conference before this week's game? They play Ohio State, just for
No,
reference.
no,
And
I
well, Grambling's coach was giving a breakdown, or he was doing a press conference, and they asked, how do you feel about this week's matchup with Ohio State? And he was like, they have a great band. We have a great band. It's going to be a great time. And he was like, no, seriously, we know what we're going into. Like, we know what's going to come out of it. Like, just a pure answer. I thought it was funny. It didn't seem like the reporters found it funny, but bringing up the bands because that's what Grambling State's known for, and then him basically saying, "Listen, I know we're about to get our shit kicked in. We're just going to go try to, get better. We're going to take our 1 mil, $500,000, and we're going to come back to Grambling, and then we're going to get after it in our division here." So
mm,
I thought that was funny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out if you want a quick laugh. But
yeah.
yeah, Knock, I think that's all I really got. You got anything else to end on? We all good?
Yeah, we're all good, dude. I covered pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. I'm sure there's some other good games. There's some later games. There's some games
Mm-hmm.
Friday, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're all
All right. Perfect. Perfect. Well, episode 5, that's a wrap right there. Like I said earlier, if you don't already, go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Sports with Skiz. We're bringing you 2 episodes a week. We're giving you a lot of content on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. So make sure you follow along, interact with us in the comments. Again, the biggest thing we're stressing is we want the interactions. We love seeing people comment on our stuff, giving us ideas of what to talk to, letting us know what team you root for and what you think of the week. So, yeah, just keep interacting with us. You will see that on our episodes if you do what. So thanks again, everybody. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and let's get some wins for week 2.
remember we love you,
We
football
do love
fans.
you. You guys make us. You guys make us.